Hey, everybody! We're back. We're about to play some League of Legends while we answer some business questions to help you on your entrepreneurial path. It's Wednesday. I'm excited to be here. I have my usual co-host, Rishi Cup TV. Welcome back, Rishi.
Thank you, Evan. So happy to be here, and happy Wednesday, Believe Nation.
I love it. What is in our cup today? Cup of...
Cup of joy.
Cup of joy. I like it.
And,
cup of joy.
Yeah.
Cup of New Mexico.
What?
Cup of New Mexico.
Cup of...
Rishi has to go to New
correct.
Mexico, so
Yes, it's happening.
it's happening. Well, maybe you'll find out later why. Ninja
What's in your cup, Evan?
I had my vitamin water. I'm now having my regular water, and I need to go get all my other stuff. But I'm excited. It's Wednesday. It's video filming day. This is an amazing day for me. I love it. So I'm queuing up.
Exciting.
We have J-Rise with me, playing under his Fresh Views account, and let's see. Hopefully I get my jungle. Continue the streak. 2 games. Let's see if we can make it 3. The streak. Hashtag the streak. All right, well, let's do it. Let's get to some questions. What do we got?
Alrighty. First question comes from Atif.
Atif.
And yeah, Atif actually is just kind of wanting to get your feedback in regards to, I guess, emotional health. He says, how do you control your emotions while you are at work? Everybody has tough times, and they want to achieve something. And he says, for me, it's been a hard journey, and it's affecting his career and goals. And so he's not really been able to ask for help, but has trusted you enough to ask you for help. And he's just basically wondering if you have a solution to this problem. All right. So I absolutely agree that if your emotional kind of state is not there, everything else that you try to do is going to be difficult. And I will just say that it's very super cool that you reached out for help, because I think that emotional well-being is directly tied to your ability to receive and ask for help and support. I actually just talked about how on one of the videos on my channel, I talked about how, like, none of us are self-made, really, because if you look at anybody's journey, they got there because of the support and help of other people contributing the entire way. So I think you taking this first step is absolutely the best thing you can do in the direction towards starting to regain, emotional health, we'll just call it that. And I would encourage you to keep doing that. So as far as some practical things too, just in terms of, let's say you're at work and your emotions are affecting you, some things that have helped me are just taking things a moment at a time. And instead of, I think a lot of times when we get overwhelmed, it's because we're thinking about a big future, or we're thinking about some huge goal that we have to accomplish, instead of just taking the day piece by piece, sometimes minute by minute. So I would encourage you to make a practice of just taking your day and your goals little by little, and not letting them become big, overwhelming things. I mean, there's so many other things you could do, but that's just one practical advice I give. And get help and support, because, again, I think our emotional health is tied to our ability to get support from others.
Yeah, I like it. I wish there's a little more context in this one. The thing that comes to mind for me when you don't have clarity, or when your life is kind of spinning out of control and you're not in control of what you feel you should be, for me it comes down to having the self-awareness, and it comes back to figuring out what your one word is, so that you can now live your life with more intention, and feel like you can make decisions with confidence and clarity, and not let things get away from you. So as an example, on Monday we had a new personal trainer come to Toronto Dance Salsa, and I'd never met her before, right? It's the first time, so of course we have to get into what her one word is, so I have some clarity on what she's all about. And for her, she's all about self-love, and that's what she wants to bring to her classes, and wants people to feel. And one, just from a kind of, impact point of view, making her classes more about self-love would lead to a better result for the students, right? Like, are you playing music that is self-love? Is it like Beyonce and Katy Perry? Are we sitting at the end of the class and saying one thing that we all love about ourselves? What are you telling us while we're doing our workout that makes me love myself more? I should walk out of that room feeling that I love myself more than I did when I walked into the room. And the thing with something like that is you'll find that some people hate that. Some people will say that's the stupidest thing ever. Self-love is stupid. I'm here to work out. And that's awesome, because you're not really going to get along with that person. The person who thinks that what you stand for is stupid is not going to be a great long-term fit for your life. And when you're clear about what you're all about, what you stand for, what's important to you, then you'll be able to attract the people that are a good fit, that do love that. I would love to have a workout class around self-love, man. I'd love to come out feeling like I love myself more than I did when I walked in. But I get how some people may not like that. And so if I now apply it to your situation at work, are you clear with what you stand for, what's important to you, the values that mean something to you? And then look at the people in your work environment, look at the decisions that you make on a day-to-day basis. How much of them are congruent? How much of them are aligned with what you are all about? And you'll probably find when your life is crazy and out of control, you'll find that there's a lot that doesn't match up with your one word. There's a lot that doesn't match up with what you stand for, the people around you, the work, the kind of work that you're doing, you playing small in certain areas. And so I feel like having clarity over that makes a big difference and starts having a massive impact on your life. And so without knowing more about your situation, that's where I would start. Is trying to figure out your one word, try to figure out who you are, what you value most, and then look at what is in your life that is inconsistent with those values, and make some changes. And you'll feel, maybe for the first time, actually in control of what's happening in your life. It's a pretty powerful feeling. That's what I got.
Yeah, and Evan, as someone, I have a follow-up. As someone who's doing so much all the time, you've got to have days where emotionally things are almost like, I know, I'll just say for me, there's days you just like, I just can't even do this XYZ today because of my emotion. Is there something that you do practically to manage your emotions so that you can continue to do the work that you do and not have the emotions holding you back? Is there anything that you do specifically to kind of manage your emotions?
So, a couple things. One, if I find myself continually upset about something, then I know that means something has to change. It's a signal that this can't continue this way that it's been always going. Something has to change. It could be just a scheduling thing. It could be like, hey, I need, I acquire a new business. I need to spend time there. I don't have any spots in my calendar, so then it creates stress because I haven't given it the time that it needs, and so that means I need to put it in there. I need to pull something else out. Or if it's you're fighting with a coworker all the time and you hate the idea of going to work because that person's going to be there. Like this, if you're constantly upset about the same thing, then something has to change. To add to that, if it's a bunch of little things that are not consistent, that are random, one of the things that I try to do is I create a no crisis business. I hate being just reactionary. And I don't know if this person's an entrepreneur. I'm assuming they said that they have a workplace, right? They're at a job.
Yeah, it sounds like they have just a job.
Right.
Job.
So it's a little more difficult. As an entrepreneur, you can plan your own thing, but I don't have a cell phone number. I'm not always checking my email. It's hard to reach me, and that's with intent, because I don't want to just be putting out fires. I want to be proactive with my time and making sure that I'm doing things that I'm passionate about, and that's hard. A lot of people aren't. A lot of people spend 20% of their time doing things they're passionate about, and 80% just reacting to problems, putting out fires, picking up the phone, living on somebody else's time agenda, which causes stress. At least for me, it causes stress. I hate that, and so I changed it. So I found that to be pretty helpful for me. And then even just asking, like, thinking about our gratitude stream this morning, asking one extra question, like asking a why. Why is this important? Or just realizing what you do have that you can be grateful for. Having taking a couple of deep breaths and just realizing that you are pretty fortunate. And that doesn't mean you let people walk all over you, right? Like if you're in a toxic workplace, maybe you shouldn't be there. You can find another job somewhere else, or you could start your own thing. So those are some of the things. I think if it's a consistent thing, then you need to find a way to eliminate that from your life. Make a change somehow, whether it's the people, your environment, or your schedule, and then try to make sure you're spending your time on things that are proactive, that make you happy, that further your cause, that are related to your one word, and as little time as possible just reacting to other people's agenda.
Yeah, good stuff. Really good. And I think just that it's great. I love that he reached out to you, Evan, but I think too, if you're not reaching out to anyone, like, that you can regularly chat with about this type of stuff, that I would encourage you to do, even though he said he had some trust issues. But I think it's absolutely vital to find someone, whether a friend or mentor, when I say mentor, just someone older and wiser, that you can go to for regular support. So. Cool. All righty, next question. Did you want to add anything to that, Evan, or are you ready for the next one?
No, that's good. We're having some major fights here, so it's early
Okay.
fights.
Early
fights. Yeah.
All righty, next question is coming from Kelvin, and this is a younger aspiring entrepreneur. Kelvin is 17 years old. He says, I would like to gain some advice from you, as I believe that you know many of the successful people's stories of entrepreneurs. I often watch your videos. So one of the things he learned, Evan, from your channel so far is that he sees from watching your videos that a common trait of successful people is passion in doing their job. And he's feeling a little torn because for him, his passion is divided between law and politics or technology. He read all of these stories of world politicians and got super interested in law and politics, but he has some fears around pursuing that because of language, writing, kind of communication skills he feels aren't good enough. But he's really passionate about it because he gets to speak for the justice and the righteous of certain aspects. And he also sees himself kind of speaking to tons of people with great confidence. So he's got a lot of kind of passion for that, for law and politics. But then he also watched some videos about Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg and started to do some programming and basically enjoyed it, but he doesn't know if he would enjoy technology as much unless it was for the money. Like he knows that it's a little bit more enticing to do that kind of a job because of the profit aspect. So that's pretty much what he has to say, but he says, I'm a bit confused between law and technology. Would I venture myself into law and learn about politics and not really earn a lot of money? And yeah, but he loves technology, but he doesn't want to do it just for the money, so he's just kind of confused. And he said, would you mind giving him some advice?
Okay.
So we've gotten a lot of people who have interest in different areas, and they're always kind of asking for, should I do this or should I do that? And I think that the best thing you can do for yourself is to realize that life is not always just this or that, and that there is a way to merge them in a way that works for you. And I think the main thing that I'm hearing in this email is that he just feels like he has to choose this perfect plan and that it has to be one at the expense of the other. And so I just want to say that there's many ways that you could incorporate politics and technology, or law and technology. And so I would just say, don't worry about deciding one or the other right now, but keep trying new things and keep giving yourself opportunities to experience different areas in all of these areas and see what makes you come alive. And put the money aspect of it too. I mean, I know it's important, but I don't think that should be what's driving your decisions. Don't worry about the money aspect at this stage. Just worry about finding what makes you come alive and taking it that step by step by step. Again, going back to the last question, we can get really caught up in like the big goal and not necessarily realize that it's really about taking smaller steps.
Cool. Well, Team Ojongo has a kill. Pretty pumped about that.
Right.
Pretty excited. Got some early game chaos. These guys are going nuts, but oh, Raj just got a kill. Nice. We're doing well here. The default answer that I think of when this comes is combine them, right? The and, right? Genius of the and. Instead of just doing one, find a way to do both, and that's how you're going to be unique. Because if you just pick one, if you just pick technology, you're always going to feel like there's that little piece missing.
Yeah.
And if you just pick politics, or you just pick technology, or whatever, the other one, you're always going to feel like there's something missing. And that's the problem, right? And you'll be okay at both, right? You'll be better than average at both because You love both, but you won't be world class because there's that other piece that's missing for you.
Mm-hmm.
And so the world classness comes from combining them, where nobody will be able to touch you. Nobody can do what you do because you're actually being your best self. Nobody can out you. We've talked about that before on the channel.
Mm-hmm.
And so finding what that is unique about you is going to be important. The thing that kind of sounded a little off, though, was did he say that he only wanted to do technology for the money? Was that? I didn't quite follow that.
No, well, yeah, and it was here's basically his concern. He says, whenever I do something or read something about technology, I always look at it at the net worth or profit. And I think I'd love to change the world by gaining money. But he's asking himself the question, would I pursue technology if it wasn't profitable? And he says, I don't think so. So he's trying to ask himself the tougher questions. Would I really like technology if it wasn't profitable? Because obviously we're living in such a technology boom.
Right. So then it's not it, right? So then don't do it. Then it's not really your passion. Now,
it kind of confused me because he says he really does like technology later in the email. So I think he doesn't know if it's because of the money or not, but he's trying to ask himself this tough question. But you're right. If it is just about the money, no, don't do it.
And you can maybe incorporate some technology to help further your cause as a politician or lawmaker. Right? I don't know how many politicians, I don't know that Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton are really great on technology. That could be an extra angle that you put in there. When I look at government websites, I don't really think these are really amazing tools. Right? So that could be a extra bend that you bring to it, but you have to do the thing that you would do even if you weren't making money. So figure what that is.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Cool. So, next question is actually coming from the live chat.
All right.
We got Relaxing Sleep Station asking a follow-up question. I don't know if you remember, Evan. Relaxing Sleep Station is about to pitch a larger channel for collaboration.
Yes.
And so he's continued to ask some kind of questions around that. So he says, how to reach out? Should I introduce myself and lay out everything I want for the collab in one email? Or do I drip feed while building a connection? Say this all in one email. Let me read that again. Or do I drip feed while building a connection? Say this all in one email. I want to get his attention, but I don't want it to be too long so he won't bother reading it. I created a video with original music and edited a video to go with it. I also created them a new brand intro for their channel. I also created a 2-minute teaser video of what they can expect from the videos if they work with me. Nice. Cool. So, yeah, I love, first of all, Relaxing Sleep Station, that you've been taking the advice and actually taking action, because that's actually more rare than people realize. And I would say I would not probably send a huge email with a bunch of this is what needs to happen or this is what, I think you're right in that I would keep it simple and just add value. So, obviously enough in the email to introduce yourself and tell them that you're interested in, adding value, and then follow up with the videos that you've made, which it sounds like you've over-delivered there, which is awesome. And then, yeah, so make the connection, let them know you're there to give value, and then I am quite sure that will open up the door for further conversation. But I would not go into all the details of what collabing is going to look like because, you know, my sense would be that that would not be the way to go. What do you think, Ev?
Whoa, am I gonna die? I died. Very sad. Very sad. I have 2 kills.
Oh, man.
In one, yeah. Very sad. Okay, let me buy something here. I would like, so I don't know if they have any initial contact. It sounds like not. I would be wary of going too far down the line with someone without getting some kind of, like, you can quickly overwhelm somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I would be doing is try to find a way to get on their radar, whether that's if it's making a tribute video, whether it's interacting with their social media posts, if it's, you know, mentioning them in articles, whatever, supporting them, if you know they're active on YouTube and commenting and being a part of their community there, whatever it is, getting on their radar. Because if you just go, I get pitched tons of times on collaborations, and you know, most of them, now actually I think I'm more collaboration friendly than a lot of people, but
Mm-hmm.
it can be, it's, to me it's kind of like the same thing of asking somebody, will you be my mentor? You're asking for a relationship where they don't, this game is nuts, man. All they want to do is fight. It's crazy. These guys are crazy. Anyway, you're asking for something big when you haven't done anything yet. That's the challenge. Like,
Yeah.
so I wouldn't ask anything from anybody until I've given them some value first. So I would not overwhelm them. I would not send them this huge, long email if they don't know who you are and ask something from them, because I think you'll have a pretty low rate of success. But I would be looking at, like, can you use that video to get on their radar? Can you use it to stand out? Can you use it to, you know, make that initial connection? Because that's going to be important. Do something to stand out. Do something to get on somebody's radar. Start with something small, and then build towards something a lot bigger. You know, like, I could have the greatest idea for Elon Musk, but, you know, unfortunately, Elon doesn't know me. And, you know, me sending this giant email is not gonna help.
Mm-hmm.
So do something to get on their radar first.
Well, it looks like you've got already these videos to pitch. So, would you think it would be best to, you know, how would you go about delivering those emails as a way of giving value?
Well, what's in the video? Like, all I'm looking for is a way to be able to get on their radar. What is that? How do I get on their radar? How do I get seen as somebody who can help? So it just depends. Is a video a tribute video? Is a video something that if I watch, I'm gonna, like, as an example, I have the book videos, right? I made a video recently for the other day on the channel, 2 days ago or yesterday. Chris Gillibo had a book, Born for This, so we made a motivational video around it, and I sent it to him. Now, I already know Chris, but it's an easy way to stay in touch. Or if I'm producing a new book and somebody makes a video about my book, I'm going to pay attention, right? That's getting on my radar. That's providing some value. So, just depends. Now, if you just write to me and say, "Hey, Evan, can you please be in my video and recommend this product, and let's do this collaboration on my channel," and, you know, I have no idea who you are, that's a much harder yes to get. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he says he created a video which was a new brand intro for their channel. And he created a 2-minute teaser video of what they could expect from the videos if they work with him. So, and then he has another video that just sounds like it's an original. But yeah, I mean, I think that I would definitely start with the video. What do you think about a new brand intro? If someone sent you, Evan, a new brand intro for your channel, would that get on your radar? I think it would, right?
If it was good, yeah.
If it's good,
Well,
that's
like,
the key, right?
Yeah, like, does it add value?
Mm-hmm.
You know, if my brand channel sucked, and this is something that could really help me, then I would, you know, I would consider it. I died trying to save my support. Very sad. But if it didn't add value, then I wouldn't, right? So it just depends. Like if somebody sang me a rap song that was, you know, really great, I would love it. And if somebody sang me a rap song that was really bad, you know, I'd maybe appreciate the effort, but I don't know that I would go to share it.
Right.
So, you know, like if you send me this really scribbled down piece of artwork and say, hey, I made this for you, like, oh, wow, okay, great, thank you. But if you said, hey, my 2-year-old, you know, daughter made this for you, like, oh, cool, wow, thank you, right? So yeah, the video could be amazing, or it could suck, right? Does the person think that it's amazing?
Right.
You know, if you're selling video services as an example, and I think it's Sherry, so I think it's a woman as opposed to, I think you said he a couple times, but you know, if you sell video introductions, if that's your business and you make me a video introduction, that's not that bad a way to do it, right? Like it gets on my radar, and if I'm looking for video intros, then maybe I'm gonna come hire you because you already did a great one for me. You're a fan of the channel, obviously. So the video just has to be good.
Yeah. Okay. Hope that helped. Relaxing Sleep Station. Alrighty. Next question is coming from Mr. Tashkent.
Our one of our players again decided to quit the game. we have some angry players, man. Yeah. Anyway, good times. Good times.
Okay.
Yep. So what do we have? What's the next?
All right. So Mr. Tashkent is super fan and he loves your videos and they inspire him, and he actually has a follow-up about some of the video personalities. He says, have you considered profiling successful people from Asia, Central Asia, Pacific Asia, people who have succeeded in their own home country? As opposed to, Evan, you know, someone from these countries that go to, he makes the example of coming to America and then making it big. But he's wondering about successful people that you could present from these places that succeeded in their own home country. He says, I understand that many of them come with checkered pasts, but in most cases, these things can be overlooked. I recommend your videos to people I know in the eastern part of the world. And without a doubt, all of them say, well, those people are a great inspiration in America because they made it in America. You can't apply those inspirations in our part of the world. It just doesn't apply here. And then he ends with, on a personal note, I think potentially there are many people that could become your fans in the East as long as you could shed some light on people who have made it in those countries. Surely those people are far more intellectual than average Westerners, and also from a business perspective, this potentially gives you a broader audience to create a following and sell your materials to. And he just basically says, if I could help you with your videos in any way, or if you have any questions, I'd be happy to pay it back to you.
All right. So a couple of things there. One, all of the top tens and the espressos and the topics that we cover. Oh, our team is surrendering. All right. It all comes from requests. And since most of my audience is like I'm physically based in Canada, but most of my audience is American, so the people that we end up profiling end up being a lot of Americans. So I would say one, like we have done a number of entrepreneurs who were born in their country and didn't come to America to make it rich. They're in the minority. It's not the most of the people that we do, but we've done a number of them from Asia, from Africa, from all over the world. And if there's somebody that you really want to profile, listen to how we ask for requests. Like at the end of every video, I say, who do you want me to profile? Leave it in the comments below. It's in every single top 10 video. Who do you want me to profile? And I'm looking for names, right? And even here, you didn't give me a name. Like, who do you want me to do? Give me a name. And if you really want it to happen, then rally your friends. Come on board and say, hey, we want this person to be profiled on the site. And that's how we make a decision. So just based on the number of requests that we get for different people, we put those together. On top of that, I would say, if you look across these people, the lessons are almost always the same. It's just through a different lens. Like the way Michael Jordan looks at success and the way Elon Musk looks at success and the way, Bill Gates, like a lot of the lessons are repeated over and over and over and over again, just with different words and with a different face. And if you're so upset that you can't learn, like you can learn a lot from the guys that we're profiling already. I'd really encourage you to not be that close-minded that you can't learn from Western entrepreneurs. It's why I started profiling athletes and all these other, singers and people who aren't the typical entrepreneur. I initially thought just doing entrepreneurs, but I profiled all these other people. Because their lessons are valuable, because you can learn a lot from Michael Jordan even if you never want to play basketball. And I get that people want to learn from people who look like them. But if you can only learn from people who look like you, you're going to hold yourself back. So it's opposite ends of the spectrum. On one side, you really want somebody profiled? Great. Follow the instructions, put in their name, tell your friends, get lots of people voting for this person. We get a lot of requests for it, we'll do it. But on the other side, and at the same time, it doesn't matter. Because the people that we're profiling are amazing and you can learn a lot from their success.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I got.
Nice. Yeah, I'd be curious to hear some of the names of the people that he's referring to. I actually just watched a special on the famous female golfer, and her name is, I'm going to maybe say it wrong, but Hyun An? I could be saying that wrong. But yeah, she, the story was she got famous once she came to America. So I'd love to hear about some entrepreneurs that are maybe more unknown.
Yeah, put in the requests. I love learning about these guys too. I love learning about, some people have surprised me where I didn't know what their message was, like a Denzel Washington or a Selena Gomez, people who I didn't have an opinion on. I didn't know what they would say, and they had like amazing videos, great points. And there's been other people that I had just never heard of. If we look at Africa, we did Aliko Dangote and Strive Masiyiwa and like all these people that are unknown quantities here, but are big there. They didn't make their money in America, and also have great lessons to learn from. So I love it too. I would love to learn from new people. I would love to learn from other Asian entrepreneurs who've just made it in Asia. But I also love learning from North American entrepreneurs and, you know, and non-entrepreneurs around what made them successful. You can pick pieces from everybody. So there's no policy on the channel that it can only be somebody from America. It's just where we're getting our requests from. So get your requests in.
Love it.
All right. Well, the streak is over. We're going to start a new streak tomorrow, hopefully. Get on the victory path. Oh, Rishi, we didn't start with a quote of the... You didn't do a quote. Or we're going to end with a quote. We're going to end with a quote or start with a quote? We're supposed to start with a quote. Weren't we supposed to start with a quote?
You can end with a quote if you'd like.
End with a quote. Okay. Well, I like ending with a quote. But we also have the Rishi thought. There's a lot of like these little mini traditions we're building in here. We got to ask Rishi what's in her cup. What's in the cup? Thought of the day and the quote. I feel like quote should be earlier on, but let's see. Let's hear the quote.
Okay.
We'll end with the quote and the thought of the day.
Okay, so here's the quote that I had, which I love because it actually is exactly what, Evan, you just said. It's your message, and I wholeheartedly believe it. And I'm going to say it in the words of Mother Teresa. She says, and let me explain before we go off air. She says, "Seek the face of God in everything, everyone, everywhere, all the time, and seeing His hand in every happening." That's Mother Teresa. And the reason that I like this is if you're not comfortable with the God part, hey, that's okay. But the point is, when you can start to see and respect and value in every single person, that you have something to learn from them, there's something that you can gain, I think that is a huge principle of success, is not being closed-minded about the value that people can give you no matter who they are. Mm-hmm. In every situation, everywhere, in everyone. That's my quote of the day, Mother Teresa.
I love it. I love it. Mother Rishi in the house. Cool. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm off to make some videos for the day. Hope you're off doing something amazing. Continue to believe and cup and rise and whatever your one word is. We'll see you soon.